No Russian stands as the most notorious and globally controversial mission in Call of Duty history, debuting in Modern Warfare 2, 2009. This mission places players alongside Vladimir Makarov's terrorist cell during a massacre at Moscow's Zakhaev International Airport. Though players can complete the mission without firing a single shot, the mission was completely removed from Russian versions of the game due to its sensitive political content depicting a false flag operation designed to frame Americans for mass civilian casualties. In Japanese versions, players receive an automatic game over if they kill any civilians, while the Japanese localization controversially changed Makarov's opening line from "Remember, no Russian" to "Kill them, they are Russians," fundamentally altering the mission's context. German releases implemented similar civilian protection mechanics with automatic mission failure for harming non-combatants. The mission's title refers to Makarov's instruction to his team to avoid speaking Russian during the attack to maintain their American disguise, as the group seeks to provoke a war between Russia and the United States. The psychological impact extends far beyond the gameplay itself, with the airport setting and civilian targets creating an unprecedented level of discomfort for players. Despite offering players the option to skip the mission entirely without penalty, No Russian generated worldwide media attention and political commentary about violence in video games. The British Board of Film Classification specifically cited this mission when awarding Modern Warfare 2 an 18 certificate, noting the evident brutality and disturbing nature of the scenario. Black Ops 6 campaign. The Cradle became the most recent addition to banned Call of Duty content when Kuwait authorities refused to approve the game's release in October 2024. This mission, set during the 1990 Gulf War, depicts operations in Iraq including scenes at Saddam Hussein's palace compound, directly referencing the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait and subsequent coalition response. The campaign features key historical figures from the era, including President George H.W. Bush, while promotional material prominently displays burning Kuwaiti oil fields that serve as painful reminders for citizens who witnessed Iraq's scorched earth, environmental warfare tactics during their retreat. The mission itself involves infiltrating what appears to be one of Saddam's presidential palaces, with players discovering evidence of chemical weapons programs and engaging in combat throughout the opulent compound. The level design incorporates authentic architectural elements from Iraqi government buildings, while dialogue references real historical events including UN weapons inspections and coalition military operations. The timing of these references proved particularly sensitive in Kuwait, where memories of the invasion, occupation, and liberation remain central to national identity. Activision confirmed the ban through an official statement, acknowledging that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has not been approved for release in Kuwait, and announcing full refunds for all pre-orders in the region. The company stated they remain hopeful that local authorities will reconsider their decision, though no timeline was provided for potential future availability. The ban extends to the entire game rather than specific missions, making it the first complete modern Call of Duty title to face regional prohibition since the franchise's peak popularity. World at War German campaign missions faced comprehensive censorship and initial prohibition in Germany due to Nazi symbolism, graphic violence, and historical sensitivities surrounding World War II depictions. Though no individual missions were specifically banned, the entire game was initially prohibited by German authorities before a heavily modified version received approval for release through extensive content alterations. Contrary to claims that specific missions like Ring of Steel were banned for depicting German soldier casualties, the prohibition applied to the complete game due to Nazi imagery and overall violence levels rather than any particular campaign sequence. The German version systematically removed all Nazi symbols, replacing swastikas with iron crosses throughout campaign missions, multiplayer maps, and menu interfaces. Blood effects were completely eliminated, preventing the characteristic red splatter that defined World at War's visceral combat experience. The censorship extended far beyond visual modifications to include fundamental gameplay changes affecting all campaign missions equally, rather than targeting specific sequences. German players could not dismember enemies or separate body parts through explosive damage, while the signature flamethrower weapon lost its ability to set enemies on fire, removing one of the game's most distinctive and disturbing combat mechanics across all missions. Mission briefings were extensively rewritten to remove references to National Socialism and Nazi ideology, while several cutscenes depicting graphic violence were either edited or completely removed from the German release. Most significantly, the Nazi Zombies mode was entirely eliminated from German versions, as authorities deemed the combination of Nazi imagery with undead enemies particularly offensive to historical memory and victim sensitivities. This removal affected not only the standalone Zombies experience but also related achievements and trophies, which became region-locked on PlayStation and Xbox platforms to prevent German players from accessing content unavailable in their market. The censorship process revealed the complex relationship between historical authenticity and cultural sensitivity in gaming. While World at War aimed to present an unflinching portrayal of World War II's brutality, German regulators prioritized protection from content that might glorify or normalize Nazi symbolism, even within a clearly anti-Nazi narrative context. The extensive modifications required separate development resources and testing cycles, establishing precedents for how global games must adapt to varying cultural and legal standards without singling out individual missions for prohibition. Black Ops campaign missions experienced extensive regional censorship and complete prohibition across multiple countries due to Cold War political content, graphic torture sequences, and sensitive geopolitical depictions. Germany initially banned the entire game before eventually allowing a substantially modified version that addressed regulatory concerns about violence and historical content. The German censored release removed graphic interrogation scenes, including the controversial waterboarding sequence and various torture implements used during questioning segments. The modifications extended to blood and gore effects, which were significantly reduced throughout all campaign missions, while dismemberment and realistic death animations were completely eliminated from combat encounters. Nazi references were systematically removed despite the game's Cold War setting, reflecting Germany's broad sensitivity to any content potentially glorifying fascist imagery or ideology. The controversial Rolling Stones song "Sympathy for the Devil" was removed from German versions to avoid additional rating complications, though this decision also affected the game's atmospheric presentation during key story moments. Pakistan implemented a complete ban on Black Ops due to its portrayal of South Asian regions as terrorist havens, and failed states reflecting broader concerns about Western media representations of developing nations and Islamic countries. The game's depiction of Soviet-Afghan conflict zones and references to regional instability contributed to Pakistani authorities' decision to prohibit the title entirely. This ban extended beyond mere content concerns to encompass fears about cultural imperialism and negative stereotyping of Muslim-majority nations. Uzbekistan authorities added Black Ops to their prohibited games list alongside other first-person shooters, citing concerns about promoting violence, social instability, and potential security threats. The decision reflected the country's broader approach to limiting Western military gaming content that might influence youth attitudes toward violence or political dissent. These restrictions demonstrated how authoritarian governments view military-themed entertainment as potential tools of foreign influence or domestic radicalization. The Steam distribution platform implemented unprecedented regional restrictions for the German market, preventing players from accessing international versions of the game through VPN circumvention or cross-border purchases. This marked the first time a major digital distribution platform actively enforced geographic content restrictions at the account level, establishing new precedents for regional content control in the digital gaming era. The technical implementation required extensive server-side verification systems and account regionalization that influenced subsequent content distribution policies across the gaming industry. Vanguard Quran controversy resulted in immediate global content removal when Muslim players discovered pages of the holy text scattered across the floor during the Dear Enfang Zombies mission in November 2021. The problematic scene appeared in a World War II Stalingrad setting, where environmental artists had placed Quran pages as atmospheric debris without recognizing the profound religious and cultural significance. Some images showed bloodstains on the sacred text, fundamentally violating Islamic principles that require the Quran to be treated with utmost respect and never allowed to touch the ground or dirty surfaces. The discovery was first publicized by Twitter user BKTO0R, who posted screenshots with Arabic text alerting other players to the offensive content. The images quickly spread across social media platforms, generating outrage from Muslim communities worldwide who viewed the depiction as deliberately disrespectful or evidence of profound cultural ignorance. Gaming industry professionals and religious leaders joined the criticism, questioning how such content could pass through multiple development and review stages without identification. Activision issued a comprehensive apology within 24 hours of the controversy emerging, stating the content was mistakenly included and confirming its immediate removal from all game versions worldwide. The company's initial response appeared only on Arabic-language social media accounts, leading to additional criticism about limiting acknowledgement to affected communities rather than issuing broader public statements. This approach suggested either damage control tactics or failure to recognize the global nature of the offense caused. Highway of Death mission generated significant controversy for its attribution of real-world American military actions to Russian forces during the game's fictional narrative set in the Middle Eastern country of Urzikstan. The mission references the actual Highway of Death incident from February 1991, where American-led coalition forces bombed retreating Iraqi military and civilian convoys on Highway 80 near Kuwait City during the Gulf War. Historical records document the controversial nature of these attacks, with critics arguing they constituted war crimes against retreating forces and civilians fleeing the conflict zone. In Modern Warfare's fictional version, the game attributes similar highway bombing campaigns to Russian forces during their invasion of Urzikstan, effectively reassigning historical American military actions to the game's antagonist faction. This narrative decision prompted criticism from military historians, political commentators, and gaming journalists who argued that the reassignment constituted historical revisionism designed to sanitize American military conduct while demonizing geopolitical rivals. The controversy highlighted the complex ethical implications of adapting real-world military tragedies for entertainment while fundamentally altering the historical record. The mission itself features intense sniper sequences where players witness civilian casualties and destroyed vehicles along a bombed highway, creating visceral gameplay experiences that mirror documented accounts from the actual 1991 incident. Environmental storytelling includes burned-out cars, scattered personal belongings, and refugee camp remnants that closely paralleled real photographs and witness accounts from the original Highway of Death. This attention to authentic detail made the historical reassignment more problematic, as players experienced realistic recreations of actual events while receiving false information about their perpetrators. Modern Warfare 2 religious imagery led to swift content removal when players discovered Arabic calligraphy resembling sacred text written on a bathroom mirror within the Falla multiplayer map in 2012. The discovery prompted immediate backlash from Muslim communities worldwide who considered the placement fundamentally disrespectful, as Islamic tradition requires reverent treatment of divine names and religious inscriptions regardless of their context or location. The controversy emerged during the original Modern Warfare 2's sustained popularity period, 3 years after the game's 2009 release, demonstrating the global reach and cultural scrutiny that modern games face regarding religious sensitivity and cultural representation. The problematic imagery appeared as environmental decoration within the map's detailed Brazilian favela setting, where artists had incorporated what appeared to be Arabic script without proper cultural consultation or religious review. Players using the map for competitive multiplayer unknowingly interacted with the offensive content during routine gameplay, highlighting how environmental details in multiplayer maps could carry unintended cultural implications. The discovery spread rapidly through gaming forums and social media platforms, with Muslim players documenting the imagery and calling for immediate removal. Activision responded within days of the controversy emerging, completely removing the favela map from all multiplayer rotations across all platforms and regions. The company issued patches that permanently eliminated the map from Modern Warfare 2, 2009, rather than attempting to modify the offensive content, demonstrating a comprehensive approach to addressing religious concerns. This decisive action established precedents for how major publishers would handle similar religious sensitivity issues in future titles. Black Ops 2 Panama missions faced legal challenges rather than official government censorship when former Panamanian dictator Manuel Noriega sued Activision for unauthorized use of his likeness and negative portrayal in the game's campaign. The Suffer With Me mission depicted Noriega as a corrupt leader involved in drug trafficking operations and political violence during the 1980s, drawing directly from well-documented historical events surrounding American intervention in Panama. Noriega's lawsuit claimed defamation and unauthorized commercial exploitation of his identity, seeking monetary damages and recognition of personality rights. The legal case highlighted complex issues surrounding the portrayal of real political figures in fictional entertainment, particularly when those figures have controversial or criminal histories. Noriega's legal team argued that his depiction in the game damaged his reputation and constituted unauthorized commercial use of his identity without consent or compensation. They contended that video game portrayals carried the same legal weight as film or television representations, requiring permission from living individuals before their incorporation into fictional narratives. American courts ultimately dismissed Noriega's lawsuit, ruling that his portrayal fell under protected free speech provisions and that his status as a public figure limited his privacy rights and ability to control fictional representations. The decision established important legal precedents for how historical figures could be portrayed in video games without facing successful litigation challenges. The court noted that Noriega's well-documented criminal activities and dictatorial rule made negative portrayals defensible as commentary on historical events rather than defamation of character. While Panama did not implement official censorship or game bans, the legal controversy demonstrated the risks developers face when incorporating real-world political figures into entertainment products. The case influenced industry practices around historical figure representation, leading to enhanced legal review processes and more careful consideration of potential litigation risks when developing content based on recent political events. The precedent helped establish that video games enjoy similar free speech protections as other entertainment media when addressing matters of public interest and historical record. Modern Warfare 2007. Saudi Arabia ban represents one of the few documented complete game prohibitions in the Middle East. though Saudi authorities never publicly disclosed specific reasons for the decision. The original Modern Warfare's depiction of Middle Eastern conflicts, including missions set in fictional Middle Eastern countries, and the portrayal of regional political instability, likely contributed to regulatory concerns alongside broader issues about violence and cultural representation. The game's campaign includes sequences set in Middle Eastern urban environments with Arabic signage and cultural elements that may have triggered cultural sensitivity reviews. The prohibition affected all versions of the original Modern Warfare, preventing Saudi players from accessing campaign, multiplayer, and cooperative content through official distribution channels. Unlike regional restrictions involving content modification or age rating adjustments, Saudi Arabia implemented complete market exclusion without offering alternative versions or censored releases. This approach reflected the kingdom's broader media regulation philosophy during the mid-2000s, when authorities maintained strict control over imported entertainment content. The ban's economic impact extended beyond immediate sales losses to affect broader franchise development and marketing strategies in the Gulf region. Publishers began implementing enhanced regional consultation processes and cultural sensitivity reviews specifically designed to address concerns in conservative Middle Eastern markets. The decision influenced how subsequent Modern Warfare titles approached Middle Eastern content, character representation, and regional marketing approaches. The Saudi ban occurred during a period of increased scrutiny of Western military-themed entertainment in Muslim-majority countries, reflecting concerns about cultural imperialism and negative stereotyping of Arab and Islamic societies. The gaming industry's response included developing region-specific content strategies and enhanced cultural consultation processes that continue influencing how military shooters approach Middle Eastern settings and themes. Modern Warfare 3 2023 Airplane Mission created renewed controversy by featuring a spiritual successor to No Russian that depicted civilian casualties during a terrorist attack on a commercial aircraft. The mission, titled Passenger, places players initially in the perspective of one of Makarov's operatives as they board the aircraft and pass through airport security without incident. The sequence then shifts perspective to Samara, a woman coerced into carrying out a bombing under duress by Vladimir Makarov's team. Unlike the original No Russian, where players could actively participate in violence, this mission forces players to witness the tragedy from the victim's perspective, creating psychological discomfort through helplessness rather than moral complicity. The mission's emotional impact stems from controlling Samara as she desperately attempts to communicate with other passengers about the bomb strapped to her chest, while they misinterpret her actions as threatening behavior. The writing deliberately creates sympathy for all parties involved, while maintaining the horrific nature of terrorist tactics that exploit innocent people. Players experience the victim's terror and helplessness as she pleads with passengers to help her defuse the device, only to be attacked by frightened civilians who believe she is the terrorist. Critics argued that even witnessing such violence crossed ethical boundaries, particularly given ongoing real-world concerns about airline security and domestic terrorism. Aviation industry professionals expressed concerns about the mission's potential impact on passenger confidence and airport security perceptions. The mission remained in all versions of the game without regional modifications, though it prompted renewed discussions about the appropriateness of terrorist content in modern entertainment media.